Kirsten, the Problem Solving Teacher and Teachers Pay Teachers author. If you like my videos, please remember to like and subscribe, hit the notification bell, leave a comment. It helps other teachers find the video when you do all of those things. All right, today we are going to talk about visualizing products and resources that I create for my Teachers Pay Teachers store. So, as I started to branch out and create more new and different things, I realized something about my resource creation process. I realized that visualizing my resources before I create them is vital for me to create a high quality resource. If I can't picture it in my head, what I produce to offer to teachers is not going to be of the quality it should. So there are three ways this goes for me. One, sometimes I come up with great ideas and they are easy to sit at my computer and I can just create them. And it's easy for me to go through the steps. I know exactly what I need to do and I have no problem. Two, other times I would start with the teacher's directions and then the rest of the product was an easy flow from there. I'd just type out the directions and then I'd do the rest of the product and then maybe have to go back and do one or two edits. And then the third part of my creation process, which is where I'm hoping I can help you all out today, is when I am just stuck. It took me a long time to realize I was stuck because I would start the creation process and I would just be like, oh, I don't know what I'm doing next, and I would go to a different resource and I would start to work on that, and then I would avoid going back to the one I originally started. And it took me a long time to realize that it was because I was stuck. And it took me a long time to realize the things I could do to get me unstuck. So eventually I realized that I needed to visualize the resource in full, like from beginning to end, all of the steps, the entire process that the teacher would go through with their students. For most of the resources I created, because I was in a classroom before and I had done these projects with students, I had a clear mental picture of how I wanted the end product to look for the teachers and the students, and I knew the steps that they would go through to get there because I had done it so many times in the classroom. But sometimes when I was stuck, once I realized I'm stuck, and then once I realized I don't have a clear picture of how this is going to go from beginning to end, I don't have a clear picture of what the end result will be for the teacher and the students, I realized that there are two ways that I can really get past this. One of the ways is easy. I can hop to it now and know, hey, I'm a little bit stuck, let me see if this works. And the other one is a longer, more time-consuming process. So the first one is to sit down with the teacher directions. Now I mentioned sometimes I start with the teacher directions anyway, but I didn't realize that this was helping me visualize my product from beginning to end and help me be able to create more easily. And now that I know that starting with the teacher directions can help me do those two things, sometimes I'm just like, hey, let me do the teacher directions and then the rest of the process will be easy if I'm a little bit stuck. Because when I'm going through the directions, I ask and answer a lot of the questions that a teacher might ask as I'm trying to explain the steps to them. And so a lot of those questions that I have for the creation get answered along the way. It also helps me find the gaps in where students might need to learn something and where I need to fill gaps in like the steps in the process the teacher will go through. So it helps me know what directions to write on the teacher page. It helps me to figure out what worksheets and supports that the students might need and all of the things that I could add to the resource to make it better. So it helps me create a more full and complete lesson when I'm like, hey, I'm a little bit stuck, let me hop to those teacher directions. And of course I go back and edit them at the end, but having a clear set of what the steps are going to be as I create the product, I can go back to those teacher directions and I can be like, okay, now I need to create, number 3 for the teacher as a worksheet or whatever it might be. All right, the next way that I get unstuck, and this is much longer, it's much more time consuming, but it works, is if I plan and draw out the resource. it's time consuming, but I've started using this with my grammar interactive notebooks. I started first by just trying to like write it out and draft it out in my Teachers Pay Teachers notebook, where I kind of keep all of my notes on my business. But then I realized that that wasn't working either. And so now I am literally taking a poster board and Post-its and laying them out and writing down, you know, each step. Because for my, like, specifically for my grammar interactive notebook, there are 5 days for each lesson, and well, for each little each lesson. So there's day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4, day 5, and then I repeat for each lesson, and then like 5 lessons become a unit. So by writing out and drawing out and writing down everything I'm going to include for each part of that lesson, and like really having a map of what I'm going to create in front of me, it helps the creation part, even though it took me a long time to plan it. So it's extremely helpful for a large resource, but it can be helpful for anything if you map it out. So, sorry, my husband's doing some work in the basement if you hear some tool noises. Hopefully, if you are stuck on any of the resources, or if you kind of had a brilliant idea and then you were like, I don't know where to go from there, hopefully using one of these 2 processes and kind of figuring out how you can get unstuck, this will help you in your resource creation process. If you have other ways that you get unstuck, I would love to hear them, and I bet other viewers would love to hear how you get unstuck too, because we all have different methods and different processes for it, but anything we can share and kind of help each other along would be awesome. So don't forget to leave those in the comments, like and subscribe, hit the notification bell, and I will see you next time. Have an awesome day.